So we spoke earlier in regards of masculinity and how that's a trap. Yeah? And if we look again in the sense of if I see myself as a man and I'm able to do what I can, I don't need help from other people and I can do it myself, and I'll withdraw. Yeah? So what are the ways that men can cope? Well, they're usually not that helpful in many ways. But we go to what we know. So it might be work. Now, if I go back to work, what I get is a tap on my back. Geez, you know, anyone else wouldn't have been able to do that. Aren't you a good bloke, Adam? You've been able to come forth. And, yeah, and so I get propped. The prop's there, work. The avoidance technique. So, you know, we live in a culture, let's be clear about this, there's a very strong drinking culture in Australia. And quite a lot of accolades are given, particularly to men, around how much or frequency and what they can do after they've drunk. Yeah. So as an avoidance strategy, I can turn to drink, and I can wallow in that space. I can get into that space and hang out there, and not deal with what's going on, but smother, cover, push down. Hang on, I'm starting to get a bit fragile. I'll drink or I'll work. Yeah. So there's these sort of aspects in regards to how to cope. But what we don't see enough of, and it's changing, there are men who are doing it. And I think institutionally that's a big thing, like the police, SES and those services, you know, they can bring that more into their workplace, that actually it's okay to feel vulnerable. It's okay not to have all the answers. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. Normalise that. See, what worries men is if they actually go there because they haven't been able to go to their full emotional repertoire, so to speak, they feel out of control. They feel if I go to that place, that depth, it feels like madness for a lot of men. That's what they say to me. I feel like I'm going mad. And so they freak out. They just get fearful. And so they withdraw again. So they start to put their toe in the water. They get overwhelmed emotionally and they withdraw. And so until we start that conversation with men to start going, actually, yeah, you're going to feel overwhelmed because actually in a lot of your life, pre-disaster, post-disaster, during disaster, because during disaster it's crisis, you just focus, narrow, to do the job. But on either end of that, you actually haven't been experiencing a full emotional life. And so whenever you start to connect with some other emotions, whew, hang on, what's that? Hang on, I don't know that. Fear. And so the fight, flight, freeze response goes on. Yeah. So until we start getting men, you know, I know there's a catchphrase, this emotional intelligence, but it's actually connected. Forget the catchphrase. Get men connected to themselves, aware of their own emotional well-being. That's the start. That, to me, that's the base of how change can occur, and that's how men can actually work through a lot of this, getting connected.